And we're live. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to whatever it is I'm doing. Well, yeah, I'm still working on my RPG Maker MV game. I'm basically just playing around, messing around RPG Maker MV's map editor. And since I've already created a map with the map editor, I'm building a simple, I guess you can say, RPG game, and I've added like a few quests already. I need to add more, and the last one that I added is a mining quest for iron ore for the blacksmith, which I guess in a way is very similar to the milking a cow quest and the what is the other one? The refilling the empty bottle quest. They're kind of similar because they involve collecting things from a source and then bringing it back to the character that requested the item. So for the mining, it's the blacksmith who requested and who made the request, and the item he requested was or were iron ores. So in a way, those three quests are, or you could say, similar. They are similar in a way. And I'm still thinking of other ways because there are still other NPCs in or characters or in-game characters on the map that I guess have not been involved in what's happening in this small town, which I called Morningwood. I called it Morningwood. Why? Because it's funny, I think. I find it funny. If other people don't find it funny, then there's nothing I could do about that. I can't force people to like something they don't like. It's gonna be hard. You don't force people to like something. It will end badly. And of course, while I'm not working on RPG Maker MV, when I'm not playing around RPG Maker MV, I'll be either reacting to videos or maybe playing a game. In fact, I'm going to do that later because I'm already doing another thing. So maybe after an hour, I'll go and try logging in to, what's the name of that game again? Dreadmiss Online. Again, I found Dreadmiss Online in Steam by going through my discovery, and it seems that it's getting quite popular because the problem I encountered was not because the game was crashing. The problem was I couldn't log in. The game wouldn't log me in because the server was full. Imagine that. And it's not even a AAA MMORPG, it's an indie MMORPG made, from what I've read, it was made by one guy. amazing. I wish one day I could make a full game, maybe something similar to that, but in 3D. But I doubt it. I doubt it because I'm not very good in math, and making a game involves a lot of math. Okay, let's go and watch this video from Gamer Nexus. Let's see. I do watch videos from Gamer Nexus. They talk about computers. Oh, we have Generico in chat. Hello, Generico. It's not that I hate math, it's just that I'm not good at it. So I usually watch Gamer Nexus even though the computers, the peripherals, the components, the equipment that they are showcasing in their channel is something I can never ever afford.
We ruffled some military.
Also, this is like YouTube drama between this Palantir thing and Gamer Nexus.
As a reminder,
Gamer Nexus is
the company leading the charge on what we
from
path to
some weird reason are they're in some kind of drama with
did come as a surprise.
other companies,
Palantir,
and it's entertaining to watch.
and actually, it looks like we're going to Washington, D.C. to talk to them. This is Eliano A. Yunus, the head of strategic engagement at Palantir, and the guy who responded to us. Eliano Yunus previously worked for an organization that has defended domestic surveillance of Americans as a positive, with the organization saying that facial recognition concerns and false arrests are merely hypothetical, except that they've happened even back when that was written. More recently, Yunus has been cited by Wired as kicking multiple reporters out of their booth at events and as threatening to call the police on journalists for participating in a public conference. Seems a little sensitive. Yunus is also a big fan of AI. He says that, quote, AI will give American workers superpowers, end quote. The superpower is unemployment.
This is not an uncommon thing. Usually when people are criticized, the usual reaction is to defend themselves. Even I am guilty of that. Even though I know I'm not that good of a live streamer, I actually suck according to my kids. But I don't like hearing it. You know it's the truth. The truth hurts, and you don't want to hear it. They say, why don't you just improve? But the question is, how? This is me. Do I change myself? How do I change myself? Do I create a character that acts like silly on screen? Or I don't know. Yeah, even my kids say that my content is boring, and I don't hate them for that. They're just being honest, but I don't like hearing it. Because even I know my content is not that good. The reason why I know is because if my content was good, people would flock in and would watch my content, but that is not happening. So I know the reality of things is that I have no idea how to improve it. It's not about getting new equipment. No, it's not about getting a 1590 so you could play the most modern games. It's it boils down to personality. I have this personality that is very unlikable, unfortunately. And I do know that because I guess you can say I am a very or an extremely introverted person. Extremely. How introverted? Even in MMOs, when I'm playing in an MMO, I don't like mingling with people. And those are not, they are real people behind computers. They're not actual people around me. So I am extremely introverted, and also there are times that there are, chat messages that I have no idea how to respond to without getting emotional. So in the end, I would just not say anything. I wouldn't know how that feels, unfortunately. On a wheelchair, trying to stand up. I'm pretty sure that is going to be very, very difficult. But yeah, I've heard like many comments saying that you suck, your content is not good. And if, as they say, if a lot of people say that, and even if your kids are saying that, guess what? It must be true. But I have no idea how to change it without actually changing myself, and changing myself is really hard. And from when I was like reading like tips on creating content and live streaming, the number one tip that most popular content creators give is that be yourself. But what if being yourself doesn't work? I guess that's why there are content creators that create a persona. For example, there is this yeah, exactly, charisma. I don't think I have like any charisma at all. I have like zero I am not Dwayne The Rock Johnson. The only reason why Dwayne The Rock Johnson is popular is because he has a lot of charisma. He's not a good actor. He's not even that good looking, but he has charisma. But I don't think he's popular now, maybe. I don't know. I haven't followed WWE in like 20 years. Exactly. Just be yourself. That is what most content creators, when they are, popular ones, when you ask them for like tips, they would say, just be yourself. Anyway. So now I forgot what I'm doing. Oh yes, I'm watching Gamer Nexus talk about this thing called Palantir. I don't know what Palantir is. So usually this is what I do every day when I'm not live streaming. You'll find me doom scrolling in YouTube Shorts. I don't doom scroll in TikTok because for some weird reason, when I'm scrolling to TikTok, it would show me like sexy dancing ladies for some weird reason. So I don't doom scroll in TikTok. And I also sometimes doom scroll in Facebook because I like what Facebook shows me. Like I like this series called The Y Files. So it will show me a lot of content about science and other things, mostly content about what foreigners do in our country, like One Day in the Philippines. It's so funny to watch. I don't know why I enjoy watching those things. One day in the Philippines, then 10 days in the Philippines, 1 month in the Philippines, and then 1 year in the Philippines. I find that so funny. And when I'm in Facebook and I'm browsing reels, it would show me a lot of those. And I wasn't searching for that. Maybe YouTube, the algorithm of Facebook, learned that, you know what, this guy will enjoy watching this type of video, so let's just show them this. But in YouTube, the content YouTube shows me are mostly gaming, NBA, pro wrestling, and Marvel, DC, comic books, manga, and sometimes WWE. So whenever a WWE content appears on my front page, I would tell YouTube, I don't want to see this. I'm not interested. But for some weird reason, it still keeps showing me content from WWE. I was done with WWE for like over 20 years now. I grew up watching when I was like back in the 80s when I was younger. I got introduced to professional wrestling, and I really got into it because back then, the reason why I got into professional wrestling is this. It was simple. They have a good guy and a bad guy. So the good guy, I see the good guys, they are like heroes. I love comic books back then. So I see the good guys are like heroes and the bad guys are villains, and then they would fight, and their battlefield is the ring. And another thing, back in the 80s, they have like colorful characters. They have the killer bees and all that really interesting characters. They have like fun costumes. They're like actual heroes fighting in the ring. So as a kid, that got me hooked. And my father would always say, would always ask me, why are you watching that? You know that is fake. At a young age, I know it wasn't real. It was like watching a movie, but I didn't care. For me, it was fun. It was like watching Spider-Man beating up Dr. Octopus, in a cartoon. It was similar to that. And then, of course, everything changes. Wrestling changed. The Attitude Era entered, and it became more like your everyday people. And at that point, it kind of lost appeal to me. Why am I watching ordinary people? That's why when I watch AEW, I like characters that have, or I like wrestlers. I like wrestlers that have characters. I love Tony. I like the character of Tony Storm, the old school Hollywood actress type. I don't like her wrestling because I find it really slow. I don't like Tony Storm's wrestling. I'm sure she's pretty good as a wrestler, but I do love her character. Orange Cassidy is another character that I like. I'm not sure if he's a good wrestler. Maybe he is, but I do like his character. As a professional wrestling fan, I kind of, what do you call this? There's a word that I'm missing right now. When you are like more attracted or, close to this type of thing. I like the characters more than the actual wrestling that is happening in the ring. I do like the wrestling that's happening in the ring, but I like the characters more, especially if the characters are really interesting. The same with like Sting is one of my favorite all-time favorite characters because that is Sting. That is freaking the Crow. They took the Crow and turned the Crow into a professional wrestler, and it worked. Even Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is a character. That is not the same person as the real-life Hulk Hogan. That is a character. The all-American hero is a character. Today we don't have any characters. Most are just playing themselves, and I'm not interested with people who are just playing themselves. And they say, "Be yourself," right? Be yourself. Sometimes there are people who are so charismatic that they can just be themselves. For example, I love back in the 90s when the Ultimate Warrior was first introduced in WWF. I was like, me and my friends, we were all in high school, and every time whenever we roughhouse, if that is even a word, whenever we play wrestle back in school, everyone wants to be the Ultimate Warrior. As a character, Ultimate Warrior is a great character, but obviously, the character is different from himself, which I forgot what's the name of the Ultimate Warrior. They are two different people, two different personalities. A lot of people don't like the Ultimate Warrior because of his personality, as his real life personality. Is like very money motivated, which is understandable because he just wants to get as much money from the character that he was playing. And another character that I like is the $1 Million Man. That is like, I guess you can say I like characters that are like over the top characters, or larger than life characters. The $1 Million Man is a larger than life character. Did I believe that he was a $1 Million Man? Of course not. And my father would always say, stop watching that. That is not real. That is fake. He would always tell me, just go to bed, because back in the day, back in the 80s, wrestling was aired at around 11 p.m. I forgot I think it's Superstars of Wrestling. Yeah, it was WWF. I didn't get into WCW until I got married, I think, because we had cable and we had TNT, and at midnight it would show WCW Nitro. And that's where I got introduced to wrestlers like Eddie Guerrero and Benoit. My wife and I were big fans of Chris Benoit. We're not fans of what happened or what he did, but as a wrestler back then, we love Chris Benoit because every time he's in the ring, it feels like he's going to kill someone. Eventually he did, but that's kind of tragic. But he had that persona. Even though he was like playing himself, he was like still larger than life in a way. And they were not big guys. That was where I first saw professional wrestlers that are not like 6-footer or smaller professional wrestlers, because they had the light heavyweight. So there's a lot of professional wrestlers that I've already forgotten. Eventually I will remember the older ones. The older ones that I remember are the ones that are really I guess you can say popular. But there's a lot. There's even the Road Warriors, I believe, and then there's the I think the Road Warriors were what's the name of the Road Warriors? Road Warriors is the Legion of Doom in WWF. Were called the Legion of Doom, I believe. Then there were the rivals was this team called the Demolition, I believe. It was really fun back in the day. We have colorful, larger than life characters going at it in the ring. It was very entertaining. No wonder professional wrestling back then were getting like 4 to 8 million viewers per episode. Now I believe Raw was like getting 1 million. And I don't watch WWE anymore. Ever since I think it was I know it's almost like over 20 years. Because back in 2000s when WCW when WCW went out of business, I was watching TNA. And that was like, I got interested in TNA because they were using a different type of ring. That was the first time I saw a ring with 6 sides. So that was interesting. And they have this weight division called the X division, and the way they defend the X division title is very interesting as well. It's like a ladders match. I stopped watching after Benoit's death. I don't remember when Benoit died, but yeah, I'm still watching professional wrestling now. I'm watching AEW again because of the characters. They have like really, really good characters that I like to watch. I don't like seeing them wrestle. Britt Baker was becoming a really good character. So like 2008, yeah, okay. So I think I remember watching at least one episode of Raw in 2010, and when I saw the episode, it was Triple H just spending like 30 minutes talking, and I said, I'm out. It was 30 minutes of Triple H talking. So yeah, I came here to watch characters and watch professional wrestling. I'm not here to listen to a TED Talk. Okay, so I think, yeah, 2010 was, I tried watching again, but yeah, that was the last one. I gave it a try, and then I still kind of follow it in social media because there's really no avoiding it. You will see, news about it or what's happening, in even if I don't want to see it, you can't stop it from appearing in social media, especially in X or in YouTube. So right now I'm kind of, although I love AEW when they first started, because I love the idea of they were like bringing in new talents with new gimmicks and new characters, and then I'm not saying that they shouldn't have gotten WWE talents, but they kind of became like TNA 2.0. Back in the day, remember TNA just getting every WWE talents that are not in contract. But in AEW, I think they've gotten, the more interesting talents, like well, I'm not a big fan of Daniel Bryan, but I think his term there was good in AEW, and I think now he's working like in the backstage or in the back. John Moxley, I I think John Moxley grew on me. I don't know anything about John Moxley. It was like his name was different in WWE. I believe it was, I forgot. Okay, I don't remember his name in WWE. But when it came to AEW, I was not a fan of him coming to AEW, but he kind of grew. He kind of grew on me because of his death matches. This guy is insane. He loves death match. Yeah, I don't know how or why his wife is letting him do what he does. It's insane. Every week, every time he gets in the ring, there is blood. My goodness. And then I like MVP and his gang. I did like Shelton Benjamin back in WWE when he was like when he was a tag team with this guy. I forgot his name, Has, I think. And then there's like Bobby Lashley, which was a very long time a TNA champion. I'm not sure if Bobby was a WWE talent first or if he was a TNA talent first. I guess it doesn't matter. I like their gimmick in AEW, which I would assume was, I've heard it was similar to what they did in WWE, but hey, they're in AEW now, and I like their gimmick. What else? Why are we talking about professional wrestling? My goodness, I don't know why we are talking about professional wrestling. ECW first. Oh, I've never gotten into ECW because back then ECW wasn't aired or anywhere in. ECW became popular when I was in high school, and there was like no way of watching it besides renting VHS tapes. And we couldn't rent VHS tapes because they were like rated mature, and we were kids. We heard, my classmates and I heard about ECW. Oh, you guys should watch this, you know. But we didn't have cable back then, so the only way to watch it was by renting VHS tapes, and we couldn't rent them because the stores or the video rentals wouldn't let us rent it because we were kids, and I believe they were like rated mature. So yeah, so I never got into ECW, unfortunately. And I believe the version of ECW that WWE presented were like they said it was like ECW Light or something. Yeah. So my first, I guess you would say, was I don't remember when or where I saw my first death match. Yeah, I don't understand why. I was going to watch this, watch this video from Gamer Nexus, and then it suddenly shifted to professional wrestling. I don't understand it myself. Anyway, let's get back to this.
Or wrongful imprisonment. And Eliano Eunice says that we're fear-mongering. That's right. The guy at Palantir says we're the ones fear-mongering. So here's Eliano Eunice's boss, not fear-mongering, when he says that safety is assured only by making other people scared.
And safe means that the other person is scared.
Our product is used.
What? I don't get it.
Only by making other people scared.
And safe means that
the other person is scared. I don't get it. Are these people living in a hostile environment? Are they living in a third world country? I am in a third world country right now, and I feel perfectly safe. I'm not scared at anything. The only thing I guess I'm scared of is not having lunch today. That is kind of scary. or not having coffee. But I just had my coffee, so I don't understand this mentality in the West where they feel oppressed, they feel unsafe. Seriously? I don't understand. I will never understand it, I guess. Maybe, yeah, I will never understand it because, you know, two different cultures, two different environment. I'm in a third world country right now. I'm in the Philippines and I feel perfectly safe. And when I say safe, I'm not scared of anything. Again, the only thing I'm scared of is like not having lunch or not having coffee. That is very scary. Yeah, me too. Okay.
The other person is scared.
Our product is used on occasion to kill people.
And you know, the critique I get in Wall Street is I'm an arrogant prick.
Well, I love the idea of getting a drone and having light fentanyl-laced urine spraying on analysts who tried to screw us.
That last one's actually a leak. It's the next 10-person kill streak unlocked. Except instead of in Call of Duty, it's IRL. Researching Eunice more, we also found this tweet saying, quote, if Palantir is the spooky surveillance company with skeletons in its closet like the foreign X accounts and the Guardian journalists make it out to be, then why are the world's largest companies betting their futures on Palantir software? End quote. That's why. That's why they're betting on it. It's because it's the spooky surveillance software. Like, that is specifically the reason that they're betting on it. Anyway, there's a lot to respond to today because Eunice and Palantir responded to our video, so consider this our response to their response to our video.
Okay, so they're now like responding to each other. Why don't they just sit down and talk? Anyway, so if they did that, then there won't be any YouTube dramas ever.
So, where we're going to respond to the response that they responded with. Let's check it out. We brought you this video with our brand new limited edition Disappointment Tour PC Build t-shirt on store.gamersnexus.net, recapping all of the worst hardware events in 2025 and one banned tour date style shirt on the back. The front has an array of GPUs from the big video card vendors in various states of being redacted, with a censored GN logo at the bottom as a throwback to our most prized time of the year, when we got Bloomberged. This is shown on the back of the t-shirt with other dates. The shirts are available in a comfortable 100% cotton with black or a highly breathable tri-blend design with vintage coloring on the logo print. The back of the shirt has the best of the worst, referencing AI, what we thought was Nvidia manipulating the press, Intel being in total freefall, the tariff situation, and more. Buying one of these directly supports another year of independent reporting and coverage from us, as we're majority funded these days by the audience, not by corporate backers, as we've successfully wound down the percentage of ads we sell to revenue we bring in from public support, like from our audience. Thank you for all of that. Head over to store.gamersnexus.net to support us directly for 2026 by buying a Disappointment Tour t-shirt for 2025. The irony isn't lost on us today that we just spent a week obsessively digging into the historical background of high-ranking staff at a surveillance company, Palantir, and Palantir CEO and man one scimitar short of accurate Driz Stewart and cosplay, Alex Karp, has some 2004-era Xbox lobby shit-talking that he does, and we're no strangers to shitposting. In fact, it's kind of one of our key areas of expertise.
Okay, so I'm having a hard time understanding him today.
With
I think he's like slurring or something.
To celebrate Christmas with Nvidia using our sick Photoshop.
Or my tinnitus is just acting up.
Palantir is the company that markets its software as being
Our product is used on occasion to kill people.
and Jensen Huang is the guy
What?
as being
I'm going to enable closed caption because I think he said something weird.
Our product is used on occasion to kill people.
and
Okay, so he said that their products are used on occasion to kill people. Okay, that's good to know.
Benson Juan is the guy who just said that NVIDIA
No wonder people are scared. If their products is used on occasion to kill people, guess what? People are gonna be scared of it.
is going to
accelerate everything Palantir does.
Now here's what went down. GNCA viewer and haver of excellent username Tux Sudu
Why is this video so fast? I guess maybe they're trying to fit the entire thing in 30 minutes. Why is it so fast? Oh my goodness. I'm having a hard time following it.
on Twitter tweeted, quote, wasn't ever expecting Gamers Nexus to make a video on Palantir, but it's become so prevalent and invasive, here we are, end quote. Eliano Yunus, head of strategic engagement, responded, saying, quote, let me fix it for you. Wasn't ever expecting Gamers Nexus to make a video on Palantir, but it's become so polarizing due to misinformation and an abundance of fear-mongering BS, so a lot of content creators are leading into it to generate a lot of clicks, so here we are, end quote. Now, we immediately clicked Eliano's profile and found that he's a walking billboard for Palantir. In fact, he might have more Palantir logos on his Twitter page than we have GN logos in our main set. Let me tell you that's impressive. After pointing this
Well, maybe he is paid to do that, you know? And I don't think there's nothing wrong with getting paid by someone to say the things or become a mouthpiece of somebody. The only drawback is that they're going to lose like credibility.
out, Eliano attempted to correct us to note that we had missed a couple logos. Unfortunately, despite all the surveillance technology in the world, even Eliano missed one of the Palantir logos. Now, he's decked out in Palantir drip. This just feels gross to say, because he's the head of strategic engagement. Now, you might be asking, what does the head of strategic engagement do? And his formal
Maybe strategic engagement means social media manager.
job title at Palantir is Vibes, which makes sense given the vibe tweeting. Maybe the head of strategic engagement is because Twitter guy and merch guy don't sound as good. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. So basically his position is like social media manager.
between those two roles, maybe we're not so different after all. Formerly, he was the strategic engagement
So if you look at it, head of strategic engagement feels more important than social media manager. Maybe he's getting paid like a lot of money, so they have to you know create a position that reflects the amount of money he is getting paid or something. But still, yeah, social media manager or head of strategic engagement sounds better than social media manager.
and U.S. government partnerships lead at Palantir. Before that, he was simply
Oh, it's just my bitrate. Okay, yeah, my bitrate, it tends to go down to zero. Goes down to zero, but there are times that it doesn't. So I'm still connected in the internet. It's just that, maybe because there's so many people using the network. We have like a lot of people here at home using the network. So yeah, like now, look at that. It went down to zero. Occasionally it would go down to zero, and if it stays at zero for like a minute or longer, it would disconnect. But if it recovers like quickly, maybe a few seconds, then it wouldn't disconnect. Right now it's back to green. Sometimes it's pretty good. Sometimes it's pretty good. Actually, I'm using my phone as I'm using a USB theater, if I'm saying that correctly. Usually I use a dongle, but my Wi-Fi dongle is not working anymore. So I'm using my phone to connect to the internet. And of course, it's best to have, you know, an actual cable connected to your PC, but that is impossible because we are not allowed to drill holes in where we live. Yeah, we can't even hang, you know, pictures on the wall because we're not allowed to stick anything on the wall. That was part of the, I guess, rental or lease agreement. Yeah, so even if I want a cabled connection, it's not gonna happen because it will require drilling through walls. That's why I'm using a Wi-Fi dongle, and unfortunately, the 5G it has 2.4G and 5G, but both of them are no longer working. They work, but they're like very slow. So I'm using my phone to connect to the internet, and I'm not sure if that is the cost of my bitrate going down. Maybe it could be, but yeah, it's better than not having internet connection.
Evangelist. On the XKCD scale of evangelism, Eliano leads towards the people who open bananas from the other end of the intensity spectrum. That's because he really likes Palantir.
My job is rooted in the fact that I'm obsessed with Palantir.
And his job at Palantir is to control the narrative. That's not our words.
A lot of people not at Palantir were trying to tell the story of what Palantir did and didn't do. And quite frankly, I was sick and tired of it. I was sick and tired of people with bad intentions, many of them who are actually here. I was sick and tired of them telling our story, and so I took it upon myself to develop relationships, taking that skill from the nonprofit sector of telling stories, raising money. I wanted to do that for Palantir, and so I built relationships with think tank experts that were covering AI, that were covering government, and basically I showed them demos. I didn't want to sell them anything. I just simply said, this is what we're doing. If you have questions, here I am, and developed those relationships. And then we started to get invited to speak on panels, and we started to control more of the narrative around what the company does and doesn't do.
And he tries to do just that. Wired previously wrote that Eunice threatened to call the cops when Wired asked questions at their booth at a trade show. He's not the only one at Palantir doing this either. Jack Paulson on Substack posted a photo captioned, quote, "Security guards demanding the author's ejection from the SCSP AI Expo Hall as a result of filming their ejection of a France 24 correspondent," end quote. That one attributed to Taylor Campbell of Palantir. Writer Caroline Haskins said, quote, "Palantir told me I was banned from its booth at a tech conference, didn't give a reason, and threatened to call the cops if I came back," end quote. She said, quote, "Palantir has become increasingly defensive towards perceived critics," end quote. To that, head of strategic engagement and author of Definitely Not Defensive.
Oh my goodness, that is a wall of text. I'm never going to read all of that.
497-word tweet, Eliano Eunice responded. His response said he's going to call out Haskins for, quote, "shatty," end quote, journalism. Oh shit. The real Slim Shady just stood up. You'll act like you've never seen a drone fly before. Among other ramblings, Slim Shady Eunice said that it's unethical for a reporter to quote people in a public space at a trade show designed to promote products if those people are unaware they are speaking to a reporter. First of all, not how that works. Secondly, the guy at Palantir is upset that somebody is listening to them and quoting them. I mean, it's just, the jokes kind of write themselves. Palantir, the company that's a war profiteer that publicly talks about how its product is used to kill people, is judging people on ethics, specifically because they're being listened to and watched. Sure. But back to the first point, reporters aren't cops. They don't have to reveal anything to you, especially at a public trade show where the product is being sold to to people walking around, businesses that are at that show, and reporters who are also at it. Like, you don't have to reveal anything. And that's even assuming he's telling the truth about it not being revealed. Normally you have a badge that says press on it. But okay, Eunice shifts the narrative.
I can see why it would sound bad, because they literally said on occasion their products are used to kill people. That sounds bad.
which is his self-stated job, and changes the topic to ethical reporting, calls her report a, quote, hit piece, end quote, and then pulls more tricks out of the deflection bag of holding and claims his comments were taken out of context. And so the strategic tweeter, and man definitely not proving a point about being defensive, elaborated. But
I love that word. Strategic Twitter.
by saying he would have gone to Alaska to mop floors as long as it meant working for Palantir, and that he is, quote, obsessed with the company, end quote. There's a word for that mentality. He closes by suggesting he or Palantir are owed an apology and complaining that reporters at a tech conference, quote, shoved a camera, end quote, in his face and shouted questions.
Strategic Twitter man.
Once again, not to-
That could be a superhero name.
But the Palantir guy was upset that somebody was recording him with a camera. That's all I have to say. Despite accusing us at GNCA of spreading misinformation across multiple replies to other users, Eliano Yunus never once stated any actual misinformation in our video. We checked. He just continually reiterated that our report was, quote, BS, end quote. And to that we say, it's okay, Yunus. You can swear on the internet. He never actually explained what the BS was, so we replied, quote, an endorsement from the Palantir head of strategic engagement himself. Neat. I like when the company that talks about how you're only safe when you make someone else scared accuses other... There's a fear-mongering. Happy to meet you on camera, Eliano. It's strategic engagement, right? So Palantir's head of strategic engagement replied, stating, quote, I think we fundamentally disagree on the concept of peace through strength. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. Peace is strength. Wait, no, it doesn't say that part. The head of strategic tweeting continued.
Okay, so what book was that? 1984, I think?
Continued, quote, you're upset that CARP speaks openly and proudly about equipping our warfighters with the best capabilities so they can deter America's...
So I have to turn on closed caption because I'm having a hard time understanding what he was saying. He's like speaking so fast. It's like they sped up the entire video. But wait, maybe I'm the one who sped up the video. Let's see. Playback speed is normal, so yeah. Okay, so my playback speed is normal. So I did not sped up the video. Maybe they did when they were like, editing the video. They sped it up because it feels like he's talking too fast for me to understand.
His enemies, or eliminate them when necessary. Furthermore, you aren't really grasping the integral role that software plays in preserving privacy and civil liberties while simultaneously allowing our government to protect us from threats. You have every right to question whether or not the government can be trusted, but to assume that Palantir is the tool that they are using to break the law... Wait, did he just write... Let's read that again. But to assume that Palantir is the tool that they are using to break the law shows the lack of accuracy in your research, end quote. Now, first of all, the plain English implication here, based on how that sentence is written, is that the government is breaking laws just with a different tool. But let's move on. He continued, quote, I'm personally...
The strategy is exhausting your brain.
I'll shoot you, but shoot. I'll shoot you... A DM. Oh, okay. Okay, sure. A DM. Shoot me a DM. Sure. And we can work something out with one of my PCL colleagues or a member of the community. It's an important conversation to have, end quote. Now, the tweet strategist says that governments are using software to preserve civil liberties and protect us from threats. And this is all just for your protection. So, we have a response, of course, but let's just see what the internet had to say before us. All right, let's go through some of the internet's responses. Quote, as a veteran, man, do I hate the fucking term warfighter, end quote. Quote, did military engagement fighters not have the same ring to it, end quote. Quote, if service member is good enough for the life insurance plan, it's good enough for general usage, end quote. Quote, there's no fucking way that you're talking about preserving privacy. Your company does nothing but do its best to strip our privacy away, end quote. Quote, you guys are literally making surveillance software that will operate on American citizens against their will. Violating natural rights isn't peace through strength, it's tyranny. What a fucking sidestep response. Spying on Americans does not preserve civil liberties.
So, this is like the movie Minority Report or something. They have like, They have like psychics that can see the crime before the crime happens. Or maybe this is like the technology Batman in the used the mobile technology where I think it was Mr. Fox has the technology to monitor everyone through their mobile phones and gadgets. Yeah, okay. It sounds creepy though.
Lamau, Wimpy Manlet, you are a fucking war criminal. Hey,
We won't have any problems with that here. We are kind of backwards. Yeah, we are very, very backwards. Even if we want to, for example, if you want to do a transaction with our our bank accounts, even though the bank has a website, you'll still have to go to the bank to do the final documentation. And here I am. I just signed like an AdSense thing with Google, and they accepted like I think it was a PDF file for the AdSense one, and I think it's the same with Twitch when the child got affiliated. So I did not go to the US to finalize the documentation, but here, even though there is a website, if you need something, you'll still have to go to the physical bank. Even back when when fax was like popular, when every business has a fax machine, and I remember having a fax machine as well. They will send you the fax. They will fax you the documents, but you can't fax the documents back. You'll have to go to the physical location of the business or the bank to finalize everything. And even now, it's still very backwards. Very backwards. I still haven't gotten my national ID. They implemented a national ID. They kind of voided all other national IDs to have just one. Just like the ring of Sauron, there's only one ring. So now we have one national ID. So I remember doing that maybe 10 years ago, and I still don't have my national ID. Back then they said they will send the ID to us when it's processed and finished. And now when my wife told me that to get the ID, I'll need to create an account in a website. Oh, okay. What happened to sending the ID? Now I have to go to a website and create an account and to see the ID, not to get the ID, just to see the ID before they send the ID to me. I don't get it. So I'll have to create an account. I guess what they're trying to do is, because now there is this like verification thing with the phone. So if you sign up with a website, they can grab your picture or something real time, something like that. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, they have this thing now. Maybe they just wanted to verify that you actually own the ID, but then again, they already have my information, and all they have to do is just send the national ID to me. Now they want me to create an account first, put in the same information again, and then once it's verified, then I can request for the ID through the website, and then they will send the ID. And that was like maybe 10 years ago. It's weird.
Hey, can you describe your job in 3 words, or is it made up?
So now when when a business requires me to show an ID, I would use my voter's ID. And there are businesses that don't accept the voter's ID anymore. There was like one time with Linden Lab. So I already have a verified account in Linden Lab like many years ago, back in 2009. And then they created a separate payment processor which they also operate. They just, I don't know what they did. Before they were like processing the payments themselves. But now they created a separate entity which they also operate that deals with payment processing. And this new entity wanted me to verify my account again, which was already verified by Linden Lab, by the parent company. But they wouldn't accept my, my voter's ID because it wasn't on the list. The only thing that they accept were passports, driver's license, and a national ID, something like that. I had to give them my birth certificate, my marriage certificate, I had to take pictures of me holding the birth certificate. I have to take pictures of me holding the marriage certificate. They ask like a lot of things, which I guess I'm just happy that they were very accommodating, although it was very it was a lot of work basically when they already verified me the first time. Anyway, still, so I got verified and now I can receive payments from Linden Lab again, or I can cash out Linden's if I wanted to. Okay, so that was a different matter. I'm always like going off topic, I guess.
Up, head of strategic engagement. So the social media guy? The most overcomplicated way ever to say social media guy. Peak wanker job title. What a fake ass sounding position. To assume Palantir is a tool used to break the law, my brother.
No, it's actually a really cool title. Strategic engagement.
And fun.
Something.
Good and not a weapon at all, ass statement. I think you should be in jail. How's that for peace through strength? I love how you went from social media tough guy to I'm not gonna be on camera, someone else will. Bro, you gotta be the most bitch-made dude on the internet today, end quote. Jesus fucking Christ. Remind me not to fuck with you guys. Like, you guys are...
Oh, you can't do that, You can't do that.
Absolutely brutal. This is... I don't think do I even need to respond? I don't know that I need to respond after that. Jesus.
I've never done that. I don't remember ever doing that.
Mine's not going to be as impassioned as some of these. I mean, I got to give credit to the guy who said the murder canon of death and suffering and trademarked it. That's pretty good. But we'll do our best here. Here's our response to the response of him responding to our response of our video. Response. First of all, Eunice said he wouldn't appear on camera, but he said we have a right to question the government. We see Palantir as an extension of the government, and Palantir may even agree with us. In a 2020 blog post, Palantir said, quote, technology companies should be scrutinized, especially when their technology is used by governments, end quote. To Eunice, we replied with this, quote, big change in tone from you. Thanks for acknowledging that we have a right to question you and the government. We'll arrange a time to meet you at your office on camera to do so. All conversations and DMs will be considered on record and will be shared with the public. We'll be in touch, end quote. Eunice responded, quote, we are all about tough questions and debate at Palantir. You rightfully made a video, I watched and rightfully called BS. Love the fact that you want to come to our office. We will do something cool. Look forward to hearing from you. Beer cheers emoji, end quote. Sure. We'll do something cool. As for calling BS, Eunice was challenged multiple times by Twitter users and repeatedly stated that he could offer resources to debunk our report, but never once produced those resources. Users replied asking, and he ghosted them. But
I think the Bloomberg drama between Gamer and Nexus was more interesting than this one.
Talk about Palantir. Before working at Palantir, the head of strategic engagement, Eunice was the director of development for the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library Foundation and Institute, which has proven a useful connection for him, since the foundation Recognition has hosted Alex Karp in the past.
And safe means that the other person is scared.
Before that, Eunice worked for think tank CSIS as a campaign coordinator and executive officer. CSIS, or the
So if the other person is scared, then that means they're not safe.
Center for Strategic and International Studies, previously published an article titled, quote, Facial Recognition and Fear, end quote, in which it gaslights readers into thinking facial recognition at a global scale is totally safe and not abusable. CSIS wrote, quote, It is particularly worrisome that many of the concerns expressed over facial recognition and AI are hypothetical. We would want to determine, for example, how many false arrests there have been because of the use of facial recognition technologies, end quote. Actually, it's probably better to think about those things before the false arrests happen. That would be preferable, and since 2019, there have been a lot more false arrests as a result of AI facial recognition technologies. If they had just addressed this in
I believe AI can hallucinate. My eldest daughter works for cybersecurity, for a cybersecurity company, and yeah, that's where I heard the term hallucinate. She was saying like AI can hallucinate. Then I asked, how is AI hallucinate? So she kind of explained how AI hallucinates, and I was like, what? That is a thing with AI. So I guess maybe that's the reason why AI companies are like buying all the RAMs to give AI more memory so that it won't confuse things. That is so scary, right? You know, if AI can get confused and they are in charge of like military equipments, not just military equipments. Imagine if you have a smart, we don't have any, I don't think if smart houses or smart devices are common here in the Philippines, but we don't have any of that. But imagine if you have a smart device, a smart rice cooker, for example, and it has AI in it, and it got confused, and instead of serving you like properly cooked rice, it gave you something not edible because it thought that you were like something else, maybe an alien race or something, because it got confused.
2019, instead of hand-waving it and outright dismissing it, those might not have happened. Eunice's former employer, CSIS, also wrote this, quote, Americans say they want innovation, but innovation only comes with risk. Risk-free innovation is a non sequitur. Speaking of non sequitur, and we're not really going to get into this, but CSIS then randomly brought vaccination.
By the way, everything we buy, almost everything we buy here in the Philippines comes from China.
We spend our days on the coast of something beautiful.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything here around me that's not made from China.
I assumed you left me behind.
Into the discussion about surveillance? Quote, why have so many Americans?
Maybe even this Dell monitor that I'm using, maybe this one also was made in China.
Americans come to fear technology. One salient example is the anti-vaxxers who managed to change measles from a disease close to eradication to one that is again flourishing, end quote. We're not going to talk about that today, right? It's not really the scope of it.
Oh wait, my mug, my coffee mug, I'm pretty sure this is not made in China. Yeah, this is not made in China.
The point is, that is, by the literal definition of it, non sequitur, which is what they're trying to smokescreen and bullshit everyone else into thinking when they say they're concerned about facial recognition technology being installed all over the fucking world at this point. It's like, diseases have nothing to do with cameras spying on you and with facial recognition and with pre-crime. It is whataboutism and it's deflection, and it is completely unrelated to any of this. Quote, fears about facial recognition bear some similarity to the surge in conspiracy theories. Fears that government use of facial recognition technology will lead to the pervasive surveillance system seen in China are irrational, end quote. Now, they never say why it's irrational. It is literally the most direct line you could possibly draw. It's like 2 points that create a line segment, and it probably the only difference is that China wished they had thought of this particular approach to it first, which is put the surveillance under private corporations under the guise of some sort of separation from government, and then publicly trade and inflate them to boost the economy while also reducing civil liberties. That's probably really the thing that we innovated here. Quote, "The fear of Big Brother reflects declining confidence in government, particularly elected officials, to provide adequate oversight." They also wrote, quote, "The disparity in views of facial recognition in Asia and the United States is also worrying.
Okay, so, well, I guess I'm in Southeast Asia and we don't have that tech here. Because that would be like invasion of privacy. And I believe there are like laws against it, protecting people's privacy. I'm not sure about China. And where I am, we don't have that kind of technology, I think.
Recognition technologies are widely used in Asia, but there's been
They're widely used in Asia. I'll need to ask my daughter about this, if it's really widely used in Asia. I wouldn't know because I don't go out.
been no outcry about discrimination, end quote. Actually, there has been. In fact, the US government has previously put a former Silver Lake investment, the company that helped Jared Kushner buy EA Games, on the entity list for publishing patents that describe using facial recognition technology to identify surveilled people's ethnic background, listing Uyghurs as an example of people ethnically identifiable via facial recognition technology. And that can happen here too. In fact, it's already happening here. US government agencies have used Palantir technology to surveil and profile people, including US citizens. We talked about that in our last piece. So now we know more about Eunice's background. He's also a Palantir merch guy and ardent Palantir defender on Reddit and Twitter, two platforms known for constructive, thoughtful conversations and dialogue, where Eliano regularly participates. But Palantir has it hard on the internet. A lot of people think they're evil. Quote, "Why don't the Palantir spying accounts like to engage in healthy discourse?" End quote, wrote Eliano Eunice, who previously responded to healthy discourse with, quote, "You're such a dumb fuck, Sam," end quote. And, quote, "If you're upset now, it's gonna get worse, much worse. Take care, big boy," end quote. But as long as the posts aren't, quote, "low IQ," end quote, or critical, they're seemingly acceptable. When he's not defending surveillance technology, he's defending crew necks, or high prices of shirts and hoodies, which somehow even exceed YouTuber merch prices. But edgelord's gonna edgelord. Let's get back to the core of this piece, which is what Palantir actually fucking does. And in this case, we're gonna talk more about some of the surveillance contracts that Palantir has, since this is seemingly what Eliano Eunice was trying to, quote, call BS on, and we'd be happy to talk to him some more about that once we get up to DC to talk to them. As the merch guy Eunice took heat for selling Palantir hoodies that cost $100, he said he was trying to reduce cost and prices, quote, will go down eventually, end quote, after which the prices went up by $40. Now, and I promise this is going to be relevant in a moment, if you're wondering why a Palantir hoodie would cost $140, it's because Palantir, quote, is a lifestyle brand.
So their hoodie is like as expensive, or it's $100. That is almost like I don't even make that much. Well, I don't make any money in live streaming, unfortunately.
End quote, selling merch and ice.
You can just kind of see Palantir for what it is, which is this beautiful.
Maybe it's actually cheap. You know, if you're going to base that, I'm not exactly sure, but from what I've seen from other brands, I guess those brands are like luxury brands. I saw like a shoe with a cost of, or a price of like $2,000 US. It was like a pair of shoes. My goodness.
Company that is backed by a beautiful.
So if that is like some kind of, you know, luxury brand or something like that, maybe it could be priced at $100.
Product and people that really care about doing good things.
Our
So with $100, I could buy a lot of cat food and cat litters. We do have like a lot of cats.
Concerns remain for tools that companies like Flock with Flock cameras and Palantir produce for software enabling surveillance and spying by private companies that can buy.
Oh, I could buy a lot of coffee as well.
Trade and sell this data to use to create complete profiles on everything you do, everywhere you go.
Cat food and coffee.
To be used on the general
Yeah.
population. This is not a new concern, but this is the core of our concerns, and we don't want to get too distracted from that because, like we talked about last time, this kind of stuff, surveillance just in general, not just Palantir, can be used for anything from military use cases, which is where Palantir sort of specializes, to things that are more focused on just making profit. For example, monitoring where you go, stand, and what you consider buying in a grocery store using existing data out there about you, your financial and economic situation, to fine-tune and adjust.
I'm not sure about other countries, but I think that would fall under privacy violations here. And I don't think the government here will do something like violating their own laws or something. Then again, you know, different countries, they have like different laws. Maybe in the US that is all fine, and I don't know. But I don't think that will something like that will definitely fall under, like, you know, it's a privacy violation.
Adjust the price to optimize it to just the point below where you wouldn't buy it anymore, pushing everybody just to the limits of what they can afford. This is a thing that is actually happening, especially in some grocery chains in the United States. The surveillance has wide.
I guess there will be there could be a loophole if they put that thing in public spaces, because they could argue it's a public space. It's like similar to, you know, recording when you are in a public space. You can't record when you are inside a private property because, again, but if you are in a public location, you are free to record whatever. So I guess even here they could, if the government here do decide to put up like surveillance things like that with facial recognition and such, yeah, I guess they can go around the law by placing them in public locations, and they could claim there is no invasion of privacy because it's in a public location. It's in a park or somewhere.
Reaching implications. It's not all just
But then again, I would assume malls already have this. I'm not sure if they have like facial recognition, but you know, businesses do have like cameras all over. Even the local government office here, they're like full of surveillance cameras. They're like all over the place. Even the small barangay halls, I was like surprised. It was like we have like a barangay hall. It's the you know, smallest government unit here in the Philippines, and they have like surveillance cameras. You can see the cameras on the monitor. So every light post, they have like a camera.
people use. I mean,
But I don't think those have like you know, facial recognition software. We're not there yet, and I would assume this kind of system would cost like a lot of money.
well, that's pretty evil, but it's a different kind of evil. In 2018, The Verge reported on a predictive policing system that Palantir was allegedly working on with the New Orleans police. The Verge said the system was, quote, essentially a predictive policing program that purports to predict which people are likely drivers or victims of violence, end quote.
Okay, so it's basically like Minority Report or something like that, you know. You are getting profiled. Oh, this guy is likely to commit a crime. Just look at his face. That is the face of someone who's going to commit or do something bad. Oh my. The AI is judging you based on your face. Oh my goodness.
Further, The Verge uncovered Palantir documents that are now available
Okay, so now this is getting like really funny.
on Document Cloud. One document titled NOLA Murder Reduction includes the data sources analyzed in Palantir's software. The data includes public safety records, police reports, gang...
What if you have a face of a criminal, but you're a priest? But then again, who is going to judge whether your face is a face of a criminal or not?
databases, building details, and camera registries, among other sources. We're back to the Minority Report precogs with this one. Shockingly, or maybe not, Palantir declined to comment to The Verge. In a subsequent article, The Verge said New Orleans' contract with Palantir had ended. In a recent example, government documents from April described how Palantir is working with the U.S. Immigrations and Customs to build what media called an Immigration OS for data analysis and surveillance. According to federal documents that we dug up on a General Services Administration website, Palantir's Immigration OS software serves several key functions. Immigration OS would help ICE with, quote, targeting and enforcement prioritization, end quote, which includes, quote, streamlining selection and apprehension operations, end quote, of criminals and people who have overstayed a visa. Additionally, the software would support, quote, self-deportation tracking, end quote, with, quote, near real-time visibility into instances of self-deportation and integration with enforcement prioritization systems, end quote. Nothing says lifestyle.
It's like, hey, look, that guy has overstayed here in the country. We need to get that guy out.
Brand, like building stuff that tracks people in near real time. And whatever your belief on immigration and legal or illegal immigration, none of it really matters here because this stuff can all be turned against anybody. And in fact, citizens have already been arrested in connection with technologies like this, with surveillance technologies that are being deployed. And we had the example previously where private company AI facial recognition technologies lead to wrongful arrests where people then are awarded potentially millions of dollars when they are proven right that it was a wrongful arrest because the police trusted an AI facial recognition technology that had a false positive, even though basically none of the other demographic information matched, such as height, age, eye color, and profession, things like that. Anyway, as for the lifestyle brand, maybe we'll get our version of social credit score for repping Palantir drip when the surveillance cameras see us. Additionally, the ICE document said, quote, Palantir is the only source that can provide the required capabilities and prototype of Immigration OS without...
Okay, so there are like typos in this document, which proves that this document wasn't made by AI. Unless, of course, AI can simulate human flaws.
Causing unacceptable delays.
So it wasn't made by AI. Someone actually
Came from
typed it in.
Agency after English was designated the official language of the United States. Further, ICE said Palantir systems, quote, are already ingesting and processing data from multiple ICE, DHS, and external sources necessary to deliver these capabilities. This allows ICE to leverage the existing infrastructure already in the ICE environment to accelerate the timely delivery for Immigration OS, end quote. Now, it's unclear what data the so-called...
I just saw a clip showing someone driving in Mexico with a lot of posters of people missing. So I guess I could understand why the people of Mexico or citizens of Mexico are trying to cross borders to the United States because maybe they don't really feel safe in their country. So that is kind of understandable if you think. But I think maybe there is a more better process of doing that. Maybe they apply for asylum or something like that. Because here in the Philippines, if we want to go to the U.S., we would have to wait like years, and we have to prove that we have assets here in our country. We're not even like immigrating just for a having a tourist visa. For having a tourist visa, we have to prove that we have assets here in the country that to make sure that we are not going to overstay in the US and come back here. You'll need also like some kind of a balance in your account. I think it was 1 million back then. I don't know what the number now is. It's really hard to get a visa to go to the United States. Of course, if you are just bordering the country, you can just cross the border. But again, I just saw this clip in, with a lot of people missing. So maybe it's understandable why they are like risking their safety crossing the border. But maybe there's also like a process. If they like really seeking asylum, maybe they can be accepted and not made illegal. That is the problem here. It's not the immigration thing, it's the illegal thing. Entering the country without proper documentation. Because if you do that, then you don't know who are these people crossing. They could be like criminals, they could be like rapists, they could be like really bad people. And honestly, you don't want that in your country. So even here in the Philippines, like, you're not a bad person, but you still have to go through all these hoops, these loops, these hurdles just to get a tourist visa to the United States. Even though you've already proven that I'm not a bad person and I'm just going to there to visit Disneyland or Disney World or Universal Studios. I just want to see Universal Studios, and after a month I'm going home. But that is not enough. You'll have to show the US Embassy that you are going to return back to the Philippines. It's really hard to get to the United States from here.
The external sources that they're referring to provide. Now, the reason we're getting into all of this sort of ICE.
This, if you got employed in the US by an employer and they are going to sponsor you, something like that. I think that is quicker. Because you already have like a job there waiting.
And ICE use of Palantir software is because Palantir
Although I also acknowledge that there are like people here in the Philippines who went to the US with a tourist visa and overstayed. And even maybe now they're still there overstaying. So they turned from, visitors to illegal visitors, I guess.
Regularly insists that it is not a surveillance company. So it's not about immigration and what we or anyone else thinks about that. It's about the fact that Palantir says they don't do surveillance. And they say that, we think, because they want to make sure people's guard is down and people think that it's not used in this way. It's used for things like Lowe's logistics, as NVIDIA and the Palantir team said, or it's used for war or something like that. But actually, this company that says it's not really a surveillance company sure seems to do a lot of surveillance stuff. So for example, in another document we found about Immigration OS from October, ICE said Palantir would continue to, quote, refine the deployed operational solutions that streamline identification of aliens who are out of status, prioritize based on risk factors, provide targeting data to the field in support of daily apprehension operations, and inform custody determinations, and track the status of deported aliens, allowing for officers and agents to have real-time data in the field, end quote. This is a description of a very surveillance-rich piece of software coming from ICE itself, a customer of Palantir, considering that Palantir insists that it is not a surveillance company. But Palantir works with ICE to provide software, and to quote the EFF, ICE just went on a, quote, surveillance.
Maybe they're not a surveillance company. Maybe they're just like, they just like watching people do their things.
Shopping spree, end quote. The EFF
Maybe it's just a fetish or something.
stating that ICE had, quote, scanned the driver's license photos of 1 in 3 adults in the country and, quote, had access to the driver's license data of 3 and 4 adults, end quote. It also says that, quote, ICE was tracking the movements of drivers in cities home to 3 and 4 adults, end quote, and that ICE utilizes surveillance dragnets, utility records, and data collection to track people, including citizens. Just recently, and shortly before publishing this video, ICE shot and killed a 37-year-old American citizen in Minneapolis. ICE had deployed 2,000 agents to Minnesota a few days prior in the, quote, largest immigration operation ever, end quote. As part of the operation, the Department of Homeland Security said it had arrested more than 1,000 people in Minnesota. After the killing, the Minneapolis mayor had a message for ICE.
To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here.
Now, this is highly relevant to the topic today. ICE is an agency that claims to be dedicated to immigration enforcement. They are actively deploying technology against American citizens born in the United States to surveil them. So these are people who shouldn't even really fall under ICE. ICE has arrested and detained hundreds of people, including more than 170 U.S. citizens, according to ProPublica. Palantir has profited from ICE contracts for years, including multiple multi-million-dollar deals within the last year, according to documents on the Federal Procurement Data System. However, ICE is just one of many federal agencies that work with Palantir. Other agencies include the Army, FBI, Air Force, National Institutes of Health, IRS, and U.S. Special Operations Command. According to USAspending.gov, the federal government has awarded $3.6 billion to Palantir.
It's great that, they are beta testing software or systems like this. So when it comes here, the people can decide whether to vote on it or not. Based on what's the result from over there.
Palantir, with the Department of Defense as the top bankroller. The Department of Homeland Security, which also includes ICE, has spent the third most with Palantir. The company also recently landed a $10 billion contract through 2035 with the Army. In its last quarterly SEC filing, Palantir reported that 55% of its revenue came from government sources for the 9 months that ended on September 30th, 2025, and 73% of Palantir's revenue came from U.S. customers. The U.S. government is Palantir's sugar.
So I don't understand why this Palantir company is like against being called a surveillance company when their main customer is the government. Unless they're also selling to normal citizens.
Daddy, and maybe that makes sense why Nvidia is cozying up to them. The two have spent a lot of time courting the US government. So looping that back in too, Eunice said we have a right to question the government, which wasn't really what we were doing, but okay. And as we said before, we see Palantir as an extension of the government, so accepting his invitation to question the government,
maybe it will affect their stock value.
Palantir may want to change its public perception to be seen more positively, which seemingly is why it now calls itself a lifestyle brand through the words of Eliano Eunice himself. But selling merchandise won't be able to whitewash how its technology is used for surveillance and for targeting. And Palantir's tagline is, quote, software that dominates, end quote. And we told Palantir that we'd arrange a time to meet with them. We have an email out now to Palantir's PR team. Check your inboxes, please, to arrange a visit. And as we said, all of our conversations with Palantir will be treated as on record, and we will share the information with you. Palantir, when you're watching this, let's be 100% fucking clear. Not a single goddamn thing will be off record, all right? All of it is on record. As a closing point, we'd like to formally enter into Palantir's video editing competition. On December 2nd, Eliano strategically tweeted that people good at creating and editing videos would receive some free Palantir Fit for the best 45-second cut of a Palantir Carp edit. Now, we're good at creating and editing videos, so here's our attempt at it.
We stand for the rule of law.
I had all sorts of fantasies of using drone-enabled technology to exact revenge.
We are highly ethical, but don't believe us on that.
Well, I love the idea of getting a drone and having light fentanyl-laced urine spraying on analysts who tried to screw us.
We are very comfortable being unpopular. You know, you're unpopular. It's not pleasant. You're not going to like it.
So if they are comfortable
Not in this century.
with being unpopular,
Wake me up.
then what's the problem? I don't think there's a problem. But it seems that they're not comfortable with, being unpopular. They want to be popular. They want a positive public perception.
I don't like it, actually.
Palantir
They're basically contradicting themselves.
is here to
And again, if your customer is the government, why is it important that you have a positive public besides?
disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
Not only was the patriotism right, the patriotism make you rich.
I don't think in win-lose. I think in domination.
I am as obnoxious in private as I am with you.
And I thought I was unlikable. I think this based on these clips alone, of course. I'm not saying just from what he's saying in these clips, I think this guy is more unlikable than me.
Eliano Eunice.
Because there is like a difference between being confident and being arrogant. And I think the way he's presenting himself is not confident. He's presenting himself as arrogant.
Originally declined being on camera before we pushed, at which point he accepted on behalf of Palantir.
There are like other words that I could use, but for some weird reason my brain is not processing it. Again, not a native English speaker, but yeah, there are times when I would use a certain word and it just wouldn't come out. It's like the saying, it's on the tip of your tongue, but
We won't hold the initial declination against him, and
it just wouldn't come out. It's like your brain having a brain fart or something.
from one merch guy of strategic engagement to another, we'll even offer him a surveillance-free GN t-shirt when we visit. So that's the plan. We'll be in touch with Palantir if they respond, if they were serious about their invitation the second time they responded. But this is the company that responded to us. The fact that Palantir responded to...
Okay, so this thing got like 92,000 views in 4 hours. Okay.
Learning more about them. And as always, you can support us directly on store.gamersnexus.net as part of our AI Dystopia series of video coverage, where we have reports on this company's partnership with NVIDIA previously. That's the one they were sensitive about and responded to very defensively. And you can support us also by subscribing or going to patreon.com/gamersnexus. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.
Okay, let's go over here. Let's see. Anything related to gaming? Good riddance. WNBA. Ooh, that's quite interesting with the WNBA. Yeah, for a league that is not making money, they're asking for more money. I had this experience before. I was like working in a it's actually a manufacturing company or a factory. It's a paint producing factory, and the regulars were already like, it's a Japanese brand, so the regulars were already like making a lot of money. They have like high salaries, and I was like a contractual, so I was like getting paid minimum wage basically. And the regulars in the company were not happy with their salaries, and they kept on like striking, and eventually what happened? The Japanese who owned the business, they went out. Well, they did not went out of business. They moved the factory to, I believe it was either Taiwan or Thailand. So everyone lost everything because they kept asking and asking for more. Even though they were already getting like 4 times the minimum wage or 10 times the minimum wage or something like that. They have like a lot of benefits already, but they kept pushing and asking. they kept on threatening to strike or something. Yeah, it's a strike, I guess. And then a year after, I was no longer, because I was like a contractual, so I was not a regular employee. So after like maybe a couple of years or a year later, I heard that the company moved to a different country. So there you go. They lost everything. Okay, so I've been trying this game called Dread Mist for a while now. I'm going to try it again. And I do hope it runs. Let's see. The problem before was, I think it's showing on screen now, I think. So the problem with the game is that the server was full. Let's I'm going to try again. Oh, look at that. It failed. I still couldn't log in, and there is no message at all. So before it would say something like, yeah, server is full, try again. But now it did not say anything.
Defeated by the dreams and the memories we've made. To see it crashing out the skies like a tidal wave down on me. Walking alone on the coldest night. There's nothing I can ever say to change your mind. I gotta live without your love. We've said goodbye.
Oh, look at that. I couldn't connect. Okay, I couldn't connect to the game. I'm going to check the Steam discussion and see what's happening right now. So I'm in the Steam discussion for Dread Mist. Ooh, look at that. They are blaming Asmongold. Did Asmongold featured or talked about the game? Or did he play it? Stupid streamers. Cheers to Asmon, who has about 50 people follow him in and pile everything to him while he cries like a right ring. Now none one can play while he sims for his little girls. Okay, I don't get it. So yeah, okay, so there are people in the game who are blaming Asmongold. Is that really a bad thing? Hey Asmon, if you're watching this, I want you to feature my content every single day. I would really appreciate it, and I would love it. I would love the views. They stole artwork from Wizards of the Coast. Okay, bigoted game made female. Why is it bigoted? It's bigoted because they have a belief that doesn't conform to your belief. Guess what? That is the definition of what bigoted is. You yourself is bigoted. If you cannot tolerate the other people's belief that there is only male and a female, and you're actively pursuing it, you can't tolerate it, you hate it, that makes you a bigot. That is the textbook definition of what a bigot is. Sometimes, I'm not a native English speaker, but when I don't understand a word, I would, go and see the definition of what the word is before using it. Yeah. how are you going to launch an MMO that can't handle one server? Well, I guess this from what I know, this game is an indie game. It was made by one person, and maybe he didn't expect that he'll have like thousands of people hammering his server. But I thought it was because there were a lot of people like me who found the game while going through discovery, because I found the game Dreadness while going through discovery. I saw the page, read the information, and well, it's it's not in 3D, it's pixel art, and I liked what I see, or I liked what I saw, and then decided to download and wanted to play it. And I thought that was the reason why there were like a lot of people trying to get in, and now I see that it was because of Asmongold. Anyway, I'm going to wait. Eventually, the hype will die down. Not sure if how many of Asmongold's viewers are gonna stay and play. Usually, they just come in and then they leave. Okay. So it would be best for, especially for this guy he is the only one working on the game. It's best for him to just wait it out, because I wouldn't advise, I wouldn't say or tell him to add more servers, because because servers do cost money. They're not free. So if he added like 10 more servers just to accommodate everyone, and then what if those Asmon viewers suddenly left the next day, and then the actual population is just like 200? He'll have to pay for those additional servers. So instead of making money, he would lose money, and that is not a good way to run a business. Yeah, unless of course those Asmon viewers are going to commit that, hey, we're going to play your game for an entire year, which is not gonna happen. That is not how gaming works. Usually, gamers just, gamers would come into a new MMO, and when they get tired of it, they would leave. Usually, they don't usually commit to a one-year contract of playing your game. That's not gonna happen. Unless you have like a yearly subscription that they paid in advance. So now you have like a year worth of money, or a year worth of server access. Why is it wrong to use heal in a PvP match? Unless it's explicitly mentioned that there is no healing. Usually when you're fighting someone, and you're losing HP, what would you do? If you have a healer, your healer will heal you. If you don't have a healer, you'll rely on potions. I remember playing this game called Conan Online. So my character was a knight, so it was basically a warrior, and I do play solo most of the time, and even when I'm in a party, I would bring in a lot of pots or health potions. We call them pots. I would bring in a lot of heavy pots. There is light pots and heavy pots. So we bring in a lot. My inventory will be filled with potions because, my character was a knight. It's a tank. So if there's a healer, if the healer is good, there is absolutely no fear of getting killed or dying. But when you are in a random party and you don't know who the healer is and you have no idea if the healer is good or not, well, you're going to spend a lot of time using potions to not die. But when there was like this update where they added a skill that regenerates HP, but the skill uses MP. When that skill got added, my knight turned from carrying a lot of potions or healing potions. It turned from that into carrying a lot of magic potions. Or mana. I think it's called mana. Mana potions. Because the skill that regenerates HP uses like a lot of mana. So I use that instead of using health potions, which was like it saved me a lot of money or gold buying health potions. Because instead of using like 2 or more health potions to fully heal my knight, I would just cast one skill or execute one skill, and then boom, my knight's HP is like full. So there was no need to run away from the front line. You can just, if your HP is low, use the skill, and then you can just stand there and take more damage, and then use the skill again. So my inventory turned into from carrying a lot of health potions to carrying a lot of mana potions. And that one skill made knights, they made knights almost indestructible in PvE and in PvP, almost, because an assassin can still one hit a knight, because there was this character, an assassin, using a combination of skills like stealth and then backstab. I think that's the skill, that is the skill's name. So using those two skills, if you got hit from the back, it doesn't matter if you are a knight with like a lot of HP, you are gonna die. So there is a counter to the knight. So even though the knight can use a skill that regenerates all its HP, if there is an assassin with those two skills and their level is the same as the knight, yeah, or their stats are similar to the knight, anyway, those were like back in the days of I guess the golden age of like MMORPGs back in the 2000s. So right now I have like 20 minutes of playtime in Dreadness Online, and I haven't actually played the game. I'm just like looking at the title screen here. Okay, so it said there the game, my game needs to be updated, but I'm not seeing any update. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to uninstall and then reinstall.
Now it's just like, man, you got to have that time where you just like disconnect from the scene, just the race, like, and it's a scene I've created in my head, you know. But you have to step away from it.
Oh, look at that, look at that. I got in. I got in. Okay, so I got in Dreadness. Okay, there you go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, dialogue. Lodrus, greetings, stranger. You startled me, but that's nothing new around here. Okay, option, not much help. Goodbye. I'm a little busy here, fella. I got nothing for you. But the priest down the road might. Find the priest that Lodrus mentioned. What? What kind of stupid quest is that? Ah, hello, my child. What can I do for you? Well, if fortune is what you're after, then perhaps you wouldn't mind proving your worth. These antlings will grow into something much fiercer. Slay 3 of them and I'll return the favor. Okay, I need to know how to attack. Okay, action bar, target self, inventory, quest log. Okay, so my character killed her first handling. Oh, come on! Stop shooting the ants! My goodness, I'm going to kill ya!
Creative imagination. Makes me feel I belong.
I must say, you are quite capable, my char. Welcome to Dreadness Island, the rumored island of endless riches. Okay, I guess I'll need to choose one. Okay, what do we have here? We have here a Tomb of Greater Heal. Okay, so my character just learned the heal. Okay, I'm looking at the stats here. A mace, bronze. How much damage does this thing do? We have here a holy quiver of the ample brute. Unable to equip item. How about this one? Okay. I just equipped a staff. Okay, so guys, I'm going to, I'm just going to, do some. I have my food here, so yeah, I was like scared of not having lunch, but guess what? I got my lunch. Thank you for the lunch. Going to have some lunch, so yeah, be right back. Okay, so just finished eating. What to do next, I guess. Quest log. You currently do not have any quests. Okay, so I got Radiant Band of Dark Conflict. Equip increases your access skill by 1. Okay, says here spend XP. How do I spend XP? Whoa, okay, we have melee swing, sleep, picklocks, and then ooh, okay, I guess I can. So skills. Okay, let's see what we have here. Increase axe, one skill by one. Nostalgia. What is my level right now? Level 4. Okay, spend XP. General. So, in greater heal, heals a friendly. Holy Bolt deals 20. Heals a friendly target for 25. Okay. Swing. Okay, swing. Your prime. Okay, I can't heal that. Willpower. Okay, improves the effectiveness of certain magical abilities, typically defensive spells. Increase the value of combat skill stats. Improve the damage you deal with melee. Half of your total strength is applied to total weapon value. Increases the value of combat skill stats and effectiveness of certain abilities. Okay, improves the effectiveness of certain magical abilities. Recovers health. Okay, let's see what we have here. I can't equip that. Can't equip that. Can't equip that.
Cause I know that you got so much more to give. You made a real mess, but I miss you though. Cause I can go to sleep when I'm alone. Say you wanna fix some problems. How long should I be waiting? Feels like I've had too much of drama, but I'm not ready to give in. Should I be waiting? Feels like I've had too much of drama, but I'm not ready to give in. can't find my way back to you. To make amends with the demons you've been through. I can't regret leaving you alone till you find your way back home. I can't regret leaving you alone. Find your way back home.
Okay, so I said I was like back, but I had to pause for a while. I'm going to end the stream here because I'm doing something else, but I'll be back. So be right back, but I'm going to end the stream. Okay, I'm going to restart after I'm done with what I'm doing. So thank you for watching, subscribe, follow, and all that jazz, and see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.